I'm 70 years old, and I want you to look at my life from the outside. Really look at it. Big house in an expensive neighborhood, 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, pool in the backyard, Mercedes in the garage, retirement account with 7 figures, awards on the wall, resume that impresses everyone who reads it. From the outside, I won. I played the game everyone said to play, and I won. But I'm sitting here alone in this big house, and I've never felt more like a loser in my entire life. My name is Stephen, and I need to tell you about 50 years of chasing the wrong thing. 50 years of following a path that everyone said would make me happy. 50 years of checking boxes that society handed me, and ending up with everything I was told to want and nothing I actually needed. Let me take you back to the beginning, to when I first learned the rules of the game. I grew up in a middle-class family in the 1960s. We weren't poor, but we weren't rich either. My father was a high school teacher. My mother was a secretary. We had enough, but always just enough. And I watched my parents stress about money constantly. Every bill, every unexpected expense, every year worried about whether they could afford to send me to college. When I was 16, my father sat me down and had what he called a serious talk. He said, "Stephen, I want you to listen to me carefully. Success in life is simple. You get good grades, you go to a good college, you get a high-paying job, you make money, you buy a nice house, you provide for your family. That's the game. That's how you win at life." I asked, "But what if I want to do something I love? What if money isn't?" He cut me off. "Love doesn't pay the bills, son. You do what you love as a hobby. You do what pays well as a career. That's reality. That's how the world works." I believed him. Why wouldn't I? He was my father. He was older. He knew better. So I learned the rules of the game. Rule number 1, get good grades. Check. Rule number 2, get into a prestigious college. Check. Rule number 3, choose a lucrative career. Check. I went to business school, not because I loved business, but because everyone said it was the smart choice, the safe choice, the path to success. I graduated with honors, got recruited by a top consulting firm, started at a salary that made my parents cry with pride. I was 23 years old, and I'd already won the first round of the game. But I remember sitting in my cubicle on my first day of work, looking around at all the other people in cubicles, everyone in suits, everyone staring at computers, everyone looking tired, drained, like they were going through the motions. And I thought, is this it? Is this what I worked so hard for? But I pushed that thought away, told myself I was just adjusting, that it would get better, that this was success, this was the game, this was winning. I worked 70 hours a week, climbed the corporate ladder fast, got promoted, then promoted again, made more money, then more. By the time I was 30, I was making 6 figures, bought my first house, nice neighborhood, 2-car garage, everything I was supposed to want. My parents were so proud. My friends were impressed. Society looked at me and said, "Success." But I was exhausted, stressed, unfulfilled, working on projects I didn't care about, solving problems that didn't matter, making rich people richer while my soul got smaller and smaller. I met Jennifer when I was 32. Beautiful woman, ambitious like me, also playing the game, also winning. We dated for a year, got married, bought a bigger house together. Dual income, power couple, the American dream. But we barely saw each other. I was working 70 hours a week. She was working 60. We'd come home exhausted, order takeout, sit in front of the TV, go to sleep, repeat. On weekends, we'd do what successful people do: brunch at trendy restaurants, shopping at expensive stores, networking events with other successful couples. Everything looked perfect on Instagram. The house, the cars, the vacations, the life. But behind closed doors, we were strangers. 2 people living parallel lives, business partners sharing a mortgage. Not lovers, not partners, not friends. We had 2 children, a son in 1990, a daughter in 1993, Dylan and Sophia. And I told myself I was being a good father by providing, by working hard, by giving them everything I never had. Big house, their own rooms, private schools, summer camps, music lessons, sports teams, everything. But I wasn't there. Not really. I missed Dylan's soccer games because of meetings, missed Sophia's dance recitals because of business trips, missed bedtimes, missed dinners, missed everything. Jennifer would say, "The kids need you. Not more toys, not a bigger house. You." And I'd get defensive. I'm working for them, so they can have opportunities, so they can have security. This is what good fathers do. But the truth was, I was playing the game. And the game demanded sacrifice, demanded time, demanded everything. And I gave it, because everyone said that's what you do. You sacrifice now. You work hard now. You provide now. And later you'd enjoy it. Later you'd have time. Later you'd be happy. Later. Always later. The years blurred together. 1995, 2000, 2005. All the same. Work, make money, buy things. Repeat. I became a partner at 45, corner office, name on the door, 7-figure salary. I'd officially won. The game everyone told me to play. I'd beaten it. My father called when he heard about my promotion. He said, "I'm so proud of you, son. You did it. You made it. Made it." Past tense. Like life was over, like I'd reached the finish line. But I felt empty. Completely empty. I bought a bigger house, 6 bedrooms this time, $500,000 mortgage. Because that's what successful partners do. They upgrade, they show their status. Jennifer and I grew further apart. We communicated through calendars, through texts, through lawyers when we finalized the divorce in 2008. She said, "I married a man who was never home, who cared more about his career than his family, who chose status over connection. I can't do this anymore." I tried to argue, tried to say I did it for us, for the family. She laughed. Bitter laugh. She said, "No, Stephen, you did it for you, for your ego, to prove something to people who don't even care, and you lost us in the process." The divorce was expensive. She got the house. I got an apartment, a nice apartment, luxury building, downtown, but it was empty, like my life. Dylan was 18, off to college, chose a school across the country. I suspected it was to get away from me. I tried to have a relationship with him, called every week, sent money, asked about his life. He'd give one-word answers, polite, distant, like talking to a stranger, because that's what I was to him, a stranger who provided money but never provided presence. Sophia was 15, angry, rebellious, blamed me for the divorce, wouldn't talk to me for months. I tried to buy her back. Expensive gifts, new car when she turned 16, credit card with no limit. She took the gifts, but she didn't take me, because you can't buy back time. You can't buy back the years you were absent. You can't buy back trust. I threw myself into work even harder, because work was the only thing I knew, the only place where I felt successful, where the rules made sense. I made even more money, invested well, grew my wealth, bought a penthouse, luxury car, designer everything. I looked successful. Everyone said so. "You've made it, Stephen. You must be so happy." Living the dream. But I'd wake up at 3 a.m. in my luxury penthouse, alone, staring at the ceiling, feeling like my chest was being crushed. Is this it? Is this what I worked for? My friends from college, the ones who didn't chase money, the ones who became teachers, social workers, artists, the ones I used to pity. They had less money, smaller houses, older cars. But I saw them on Facebook, with their families, at their kids' games, on camping trips, at dinner tables filled with laughter. They looked happy, really happy. And I realized they weren't playing the same game I was. They'd opted out, chosen differently. And maybe they were winning in ways I'd never understand. At 60, I had a health scare, chest pains, thought it was a heart attack. Ended up being severe stress and anxiety. The doctor said, "Stephen, your body is breaking down. Your blood pressure is through the roof. You're on the edge of burnout. You need to slow down. Reduce stress. Find balance. Balance. What was that? I tried to retire. Made it 3 months. Couldn't handle it. Didn't know who I was without work, without the title, without the game. So I went back. As a consultant. Flexible hours. But still working. Still playing. Because the game was all I knew. It was my identity. My purpose. My worth. Dylan is 34 now. He's a high school teacher. Just like his grandfather. Makes modest money. Lives in a small apartment. I used to feel disappointed. Like he'd wasted his potential. Like he should have aimed higher. But I visited him last year. Saw him with his students. Saw the way he lit up talking about literature. Saw the impact he had. And I felt jealous. He had something I never had. Purpose that wasn't tied to money. Joy that wasn't dependent on status. Sophia is 31. She's a social worker. Helps foster children. Makes even less than Dylan. I offered to help her financially many times. She always refuses. She said to me once, "Dad, I don't want your money. I never did. I wanted you. But you were too busy chasing things that don't matter." That hurt. More than anything had hurt in years. Because she was right. Last month I got a call. My father passed away. Heart attack. Sudden. I flew back for the funeral. Sat in the church surrounded by people whose names I didn't remember. And I thought about him. The man who taught me the game. Who told me the rules. Who set me on this path. Did he win? Did he die happy? Did he have regrets? I'll never know. Because we never talked about those things. We talked about money, success, status, the game, but never about happiness, fulfillment, meaning, purpose. After the funeral, I found a letter he'd written years ago but never sent. It was addressed to me. In it, he apologized. He said, "I taught you to chase success, but I never taught you to chase happiness. And I regret that. Because success without happiness is just expensive misery. And I lived that, and I'm sorry I passed it to you." I sat in my father's old house, holding that letter, and I cried. For him, for me, for all the years wasted chasing the wrong thing. I'm 70 years old now, and I'm sitting in this big house, 6 bedrooms, half empty, decorated by a designer I hired because successful people have designer homes. Everything matches, everything is expensive, everything is perfect, and everything is meaningless. I have money, more than I'll ever spend. My retirement account is massive, my investments are solid. I'm financially secure for the rest of my life and beyond. But what's the point? I eat dinner alone, at a table that seats 12, in a dining room that's never hosted a dinner party because I have no one to invite. My children call on holidays. Dutiful calls, 20 minutes of polite conversation. Then they go back to their lives, their real lives, the ones I was never part of. I have 3 grandchildren now. Dylan's 2 kids, Sophia's daughter. I barely know them. I send generous checks on birthdays. They send thank you cards, written by their parents, polite, distant. I'm the rich grandfather, the stranger with money. Not the warm grandfather who plays on the floor, who tells stories, who's present. I tried to change, too late, but I tried. I reached out to Dylan, said I wanted to be more involved, come to the kids' events, be present. He was skeptical, said, "Dad, you weren't there for me. Why would you be there for them?" Fair question, one I couldn't answer. He gave me a chance, though. Invited me to his son's birthday party. I flew out, showed up, and I watched him be the father I never was, present, engaged, laughing, playing, and I felt proud and sad. Proud he broke the cycle. Sad I started it. Last year, I did something drastic. I sold the big house, downsized to a smaller condo, donated most of the furniture, the art, the things. Turns out things don't fill the emptiness. They just make it more expensive. I started volunteering at a community center, teaching business skills to young entrepreneurs. And something strange happened. For the first time in 50 years, I felt useful in a way that mattered. I was helping people not for profit, not for status, but because it mattered. One of the young people I mentor, his name is Carlos. He reminds me of myself at 23, smart, ambitious, hungry for success. He asked me for advice, said, "How did you become so successful? What's the secret?" I looked at him, this eager young man, ready to play the game, ready to win, and I told him the truth. I said, "I won the game everyone told me to play, made all the money, got all the status, achieved everything society said I should achieve, and I lost myself completely, lost my family, lost my happiness, lost everything that actually matters." He looked confused. "But you're successful." I said, "By whose definition? Society's? Sure. By my own? Not even close." He said, "So what should I do differently?" I said, "Define success for yourself, not based on what others expect, not based on what looks good on Instagram, but based on what makes you genuinely happy, what gives your life meaning, what you'll be proud of on your deathbed." He said, "But what about money? Security?" I said, "Money is important, but it's not everything, and success without happiness is just expensive misery. Trust me, I'm living proof." There's a woman in my building. Her name is Patricia. She's 68, a widow, retired teacher. She lives in a one-bedroom, modest, simple, nothing fancy, but she's happy, really happy. She volunteers at the library, has coffee with friends every week, babysits her grandchildren, hosts game nights, lives simply but fully. We've become friends, unlikely friends. She said to me once, "Stephen, you have everything and you're miserable. I have very little and I'm content. You know why?" I asked, "Why?" She said, "Because I never let society define success for me. I defined it myself, and my definition included relationships, connection, joy, presence, things money can't buy." She was right. I'd spent 50 years playing a game someone else designed, following rules someone else made, chasing goals someone else set, and I won. By their definition, I won. But I lost myself completely. So let me speak to you now. You watching this, you listening to my story. If you're chasing money at the expense of relationships, if you're chasing status at the expense of happiness, if you're climbing a ladder that's leaning against the wrong wall, stop, just stop. Ask yourself, who defines success for you? Your parents, society, Instagram, some magazine article about successful people? Or did you define it based on what matters to you? What brings you joy? What gives your life meaning? Because here's the truth nobody tells you when you're starting out. You can win the game. You can make all the money, get all the status, achieve everything society says you should achieve, and still be completely miserable. Success without happiness is just expensive misery. I have money, I have things, I have achievements, and I'd trade it all, every single dollar, every award, every accomplishment, for one more chance to be present with my children when they were young, for one more chance to choose differently, for one more chance to play a different game, my own game. But I can't. Time doesn't work that way. Life doesn't give do-overs. I won the game everyone said to play, and I lost myself completely. Don't make my mistake. Don't wait until you're 70 to realize you've been playing the wrong game. Define success on your own terms. Now, today, choose relationships over status. Choose presence over money. Choose meaning over appearances. Because at the end of your life, nobody's going to ask how much money you made. Nobody's going to care about your job title. Nobody's going to measure your success by the size of your house. They're going to ask, were you present? Did you love well? Did you live fully? Did you make a difference? Answer those questions first. Build your life around those answers. And then, if money and success come, Great. But they'll be the bonus, not the goal. Because I'm 70 years old. I won the game everyone said to play. I have everything I was told to want. And I lost everything I actually needed. My relationships, my joy, my presence, myself. Don't be me. Don't win the wrong game. Define success for yourself. And live that definition fully, completely, authentically before it's too late.